After 11 days of pool across 4 disciplines, the 2026 Predator European Pool Championships is down to its final round of matches. Organised by the European Pocket Billiard Federation, it's time for the finals of the men's and women's team events. Firstly, with the women, it's Austria against Germany. And on table 10, with the 8 ball, it's Lena Primus against Miriam Steiner. And with the 9 ball on table 12, Jasmine Ocean against Ina Kaplan. In the arena with the men's event, it's Spain against Germany. On table 3, with 8 ball, Juan Carlos Exposito against Tobias Bongas. And on table 2, with the 10 ball, from Spain, Ike Andoni Echeverria. And from Germany, Stefan Kasper. And finally, on table 1, with the 9 ball, from Spain, Jonas Suto. And from Germany, Felix Vogel. Our referees in charge of the action on table 12, Cesar Quezada of the Faroe Islands. On table 10, Alexandra Baras of Romania. On table 3, Florian Rettenbacher of Austria. On table 2, Serdar Kaladag of Turkey. And on table 1, Gintaras Petrovas of Lithuania. Players, you may lag for the break.
Welcome, 24 teams in this team event, down to these 2, Spain versus Germany. And on our table, 2 players with exceptional performances in their semi-final 9 balls. Jonas Suto, Island Boy, taking on Felix Vogel, the Birdman. My name is Gethin Davis, and joining me in the box for this final, my good friend and colleague, Eric Horlifson. Well, Eric, hold on to your chair tightly, sir. This could be a firework one.
Yeah, pleasure to be with you. Both players playing real well coming in. Jonas coming off a 9-1 win in the semifinals in this team match against Turkey. Or, pardon me, they were playing... Spain was against, we just did the match, Gethin.
we had, it was Switzerland.
Switzerland, that's right, yeah. But yeah, one of the best young players in Europe, both young players. Felix still in the junior division. Jonas, a former world junior champion.
Yep, this 18-year-old has been playing very strong, and today especially well. And he's really looked down for this, as have Team Germany. Both Germany in men's and women's final, kicking off right now.
Look for a lot of offense in this one. Five ball down. Chance of it being illegal here. It is. Jonas is going to have a look at the 1. He'll be taking this.
Yeah, good observation, Eric. The 3-point rule is in effect. It is alternate break, and players under a shot clock, 1 extension can be called per rack. What can you see on this one, Eric?
Yeah, looks like the 1 passes the 6. He's going to have to stop the cue ball and leave some distance on the 2. There's a path 2 rails back towards the 3. Might have the slightest angle going to the right. If he does, he's going to have to find a way to follow forward between the 6-9. Or power draw back towards the 4. I think he'll favor the following play. It's a little in between. Follows kind of going into the 6 off 1 rail. Not the easiest opener here.
Ooh.
It's okay. It's okay in the 2. How's the 6 ended up past the 8? Jonas is having a look right now. Seems alright with it.
Yeah. Can he slide the 6 past the 8?
I think so, by his reaction when he was checking out the angle. He has to go down for a second look, so it's definitely tight. But he can use the long rail on the way in. Just wants to get a good angle on the 6 where he can keep the speed down. He does have to use the rail. Good half ball angle on the 6 will do.
In an earlier match, Jonas told Mark White that he found these pockets quite generous. I was quite surprised to hear that, Eric.
Yeah, well, I think the arcs with the black pocket backing are playing a little tighter than the arcs with the gold pocket backing. I've noticed that since we did the first Euro Tour. You can just tell by how the balls are going in. The sides are definitely playing bigger.
Well, you implied that we should expect these gentlemen to go on the offense. This is exactly what you meant. And in quick fire, Jonas Suto gets us off the rack. The scoreboard down in the bottom is for our race to 8 ball. So just excuse that for a moment. And yeah,
it'll be a race to 9 in the. Sorry, Catherine.
Yeah, no, please.
It'll be a race to 9 in the 9 ball discipline.
I have to say, from watching both of these players today, we should not expect to see many illegal breaks. They've been not only generating power, but making the cut break to great effect.
Yeah, Felix hit that last break good. Just caught a couple double kisses with balls coming off into the back end of the stack. Players really relying on either the 1 or the corner ball going in as well. If the 1 doesn't go in, it has the chance to catch one of the points and not be included in the 3 points. A little thin, but he's fluked one in and he's got a shot on the 1. So a break of serve from Jonas in rack number 1, and now off to a good start in rack number 2 here. Always behind the 6, Gethin.
Yeah, needed to avoid the 6. To find the window between the 2 and the 5, would have had to have brought the cue ball back around 2 rails for the 3, but now he's going to jump over the edge, Eric. That makes this shot that more difficult and to hold for any position.
Cue ball could play behind the 7. It has. It's close. He does have it. He does have the middle of it. Looks like the 4 is blocking the bottom left. Safes aren't easy here. Might just have 3/4 pocket for the 2, but looks like he's playing off the left side. Oh, he had it. Great shot.
And has left himself a little bit of an angle on the 3. Would be looking to pop the cue ball out towards the center of the table. And this is a nice opportunity here.
Vogel, the current World Junior 9-ball champion. He's definitely had some good match wins on the international men's scene. Haven't seen him in the quarterfinals just as of yet. But he did get second in a Euro Tour last year.
Yeah, I got to commentate on his quarterfinal this morning, or rather just after lunchtime, and he came out of the blocks firing on all cylinders, was faultless for many of the early racks. And it appeared that he's done that in his semi-final as well, with that 9-3 scoreline.
Both players stealing each other's breaks in the first 2 racks here. Surprising. That would make the breaker a 65% favorite with these breaking rules in 9-ball.
Yeah, good point, Eric. And I don't know if you noticed in the background, Suto, he did this in the last match as well, was always looking over at the other matches, really seemed a bit despondent with his match, and then suddenly came out and fired 2 quick racks off and walked out the building. It was quite phenomenal to watch. Now, just having a look at the scores on our other tables, we have Juan Carlos Exposito taking on Tobias Bongers in an 8-ball race to 8. Juan Carlos leading 1 rack to 0 there, and the 10-ball race to 8 is a matchup between Ika Andoni Echeverria, and he's playing a very tough Stefan Kasper, who's leading 1 rack to 0.
Yeah, Echeverria with the least experience in major situations, playing against a tough opponent in Kasper. So we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, Kasper picked up the straight medal. He won it. It was our first event back on, I think that was day 3, the final, or day 2 of this 11-day event. We're on day 11 now. And Juan Carlos picked up the 8-ball champion as well. So, tough opponents out on the tables.
It's the one he wants. 2 balls going to be a little tough, but it is available in the top right, bottom right, pardon me.
Yeah, there was a little shake of the head. I think that was due to where the 2 dressed up.
Doesn't want the 1 to play off into the short rail here. Cue ball's moving to the left. And hard to move it all the way back over. If the 1 does go too much up the short rail. It did. Just might still be there. So often that happens off that type of shot. I don't think he can hold it anymore, Gethin. He might have to run into the 2 here if he is going to stay on offense. It's about as thin as it can get.
Ooh, ooh. Well, he's avoided the side pocket. Is he looking at a combination on the 8? That 8's just off the rail.
Yeah, I don't really like where the 8 is. You can bank the 2 around 4 rails behind the 3-9. Got it fairly safe, but not safe enough for a player like Suto. Looks like side rail to side rail here.
Ooh. Not sure if
Yeah,
there
this
is a
would be
window.
I'd be unlucky if he caught it. Good wall of 3 balls. Looks like he has.
Oh,
Swerve at it. Yeah, go ahead.
and a thin contact, Eric. Not a bad shot at all.
Yeah, actually got a return safe out of this. Looks like he did leave the thinnest right edge of the ball, or maybe a kick safe. Yes, they played.
Yeah, with such good offense, it's very rare you get to see a good safety tussle.
I like Vogel taking the cue ball around 3 rails here, using the 3 or the 9. 8 ball's going to block the top right for the 2 ball. Well, the jump's going to be pretty available here. It's going to have to cut at it a little bit to make the 8, but not a big cut on the 2.
Two's going to kick out to the left, make a track over to the top left pocket or in that direction. This is a tricky jump to make. Fantastic.
Nailed it. Two's played nicely over the corner. Suto really gets going when the balls are in the open like this. Fast-paced play. Walks around the table high speed. And he's just getting better and better, Geffen.
Yeah, and you could feel the spirit in the Spanish team, watching each other eagerly and standing around supporting. It's been a real good uplifting moment for all the players, especially Ika Andoni, as you said. Not as much experience as these two, but what a fantastic experience for him making the final. But when this gentleman gets a pep in his Ibethan step, he can be formidable. And does. Takes the lead again, 2-1. He's always having a little look over at the other tables. Never looks fully invested in the match he should be playing, but that's his style. Just get an update on the other matches. Juan Carlos Exposito in the 8-ball is 2-0 up on Tobias Bongers. And in that 10-ball I was alluding to, Stefan Kasper of Germany is leading 2-0 over Echeverria. So still in the balance, still early days. This is a race to 9, alternate break. I'll bring you an update after this one on the women's final. Austria in that final went to a hill-hill shootout with France to get there, and Germany with a comfortable win over Poland. That is
be illegal again here. It is. So Felix has the option to put Jonas back in, and he does immediately. No look at the 2. Jonas still does have the option to push.
little cluster down here on the bottom right, as you can see. So this isn't going to be straightforward for either player.
Yeah, he's tied up the 4 now. Felix putting him back in immediately again.
3 shots in a row. No ball potted.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not sure why Felix didn't go for that himself. He didn't get out of the chair even. Maybe he just thought that that shot, the 2 wasn't even visible. But Jonas nearly got it. Well, he's got it safe, but is there a pathway for Felix here?
Right on the nose, and he's opened up the 4-5. Well, unlucky. Knew he needed to hit it at speed to get it out of that area. Just didn't catch the 7 properly.
He certainly did go into it with the right amount of speed. That 7 ball took all the energy out of it. Jumping over the 5 and the 6. Great contact, and has got rewarded. That's come up behind the 4. On the edge, Jonas can see, will probably take the cue ball to that corner pocket.
Yeah, he can thin off the right edge here, but there's not much to hide behind coming 2 rails around. Looks like trying to stick the cue ball behind the 4. That'll do. Shot.
Yeah, Felix probably with the jump stick in his hand again. This one a little less tricky, but a bit more distance.
Just off there, unless the 3 gets right on the short rail. Could be a chance for Jonas. Good starter here.
Yeah, it wasn't far away. Look where that 3 ball has tracked down towards. Maybe have to come off the long rail and out past the center of the table for a longer 5. Was able to go into the 9. Where's the 9 going?
Yeah, didn't want the 9 to end up on top of the 7. He is going to be able to get on some angles where he's able to stick the cue ball behind the 9. Ideally, he's going to want to be able to draw up the right long rail enough here to get inside the 6. Shot, and this will be a good angle coming over for where he needs to be on the 7. I don't think he'll get overly aggressive here. Sticking Felix behind the 9 with only 3 balls on the table should be pretty safe.
Ooh. Has he found the angle?
It'll be safe still, but yeah, if there ever was an angle where he wouldn't be too thin and still be able to make it, it's this. If he's following it, he might be trying it. Look out, the 7 might end up in the one space it can be. It did.
He knew that as soon as the cue ball came off that last rail. He turned around, looked away, held his head. Good opportunity for Felix here to turn this one around.
Too much angle, going to be a long reach for Vogel.
The Arcos II Balls. Oh, just a bit thick. How's his leave, Eric?
It's in between. Looks like the cue ball's just missing the side to the left side of the middle. Yeah, he's okay to come across one rail here with follow. Pretty big miss early on. Yeah.
Took all of that pocket, Eric. Didn't matter. That's all he needed. And, well, he's not completely satisfied. However, 3-1. Felix did have his opportunity, fell flat on the 8, and that wasn't going to be good enough. I mentioned about the women's final taking place right now. Well, the Austrians have got off to a great start. Lena Primus leading 3-0 over Miriam Steiner. She plays in the 8-ball, race to 6. And Yasmin Ushan 2-1 up on Ina Kaplan. Both of them players in top form, and they're in a 9-ball race to 7. See a little roundup, that wobbled 8, Eric. Well, doesn't matter how they go down. If they go down, Felix Vogel to break. He trails 1 rack to 3 in this race to 9. Has been breaking them well, not necessarily getting the best results.
Yeah, 1 illegal break of his 2 first attempts.
How about that?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one he wants.
Well, Eric, you say that's the one he wants, but every time you say it, he somehow finds a reason to shake his head a little bit. Is it the 7, 8? I don't know.
It is. Yeah, he's going to have to come into the short side or combo at it. If either of those 2 balls were open, he'd be 90% to run out here. Depending on what exact angle he gets on the 6. The risk in getting into the short side is that if he comes on the top side of the short side, the cue ball will be playing down to the bottom right, so I think he's going to favor just taking on the combo here. 7 shouldn't move too far from where the 8 is.
He's just coming down to have a second look. Got a window that he wants to get that cue ball in.
Used the whole pocket there nicely. Got about as close to the 7 as he could have. 7's going to play off to the right of the 8. Should be able to play it in the bottom left.
Oh, played it with authority, Eric. Knowing the 7 was going in that direction, that's turned out rather nicely.
Yeah, just a little straight, but he still can draw straight back here. Want to be on it. It's a thin one, Gethin.
Yeah, he did this to himself on the 8 ball in the last rack. He paid a cost for that. Great camera angle, Eric, showing that 9 was clean as a whistle and an important rack, even at this early stage for Felix. And I say important because over on table 2, our match between Echeverria and Stefan Kasper, well, Germany's up 3-1 in that one. In contrast, over on the other table in the 8 ball, Exposito is off to a flyer against Tobias Bongas, leading 4 racks to 1. Will be Jonas to break Eric, and well, he's still out in the lead. Doesn't want to give up anything at this point.
Yeah, we've only seen 1 break and run so far. 3 illegal breaks. Surprising. A little thin on that one.
It was legal, but was also dry. At 5, just not threatening. And neither the 1. The 9 was not far away.
Yeah, just whenever the cue ball comes kind of long of the middle diamond, there's a risk of the corner ball not going in. And he was about a cue ball down from it that time.
Well, I can confidently say that in this opportunity, so far today, he's taken these on with great success.
Felt like he had to run into the 2 there. Didn't run into it quite how he wanted. Risky one behind the 5. Think he might avoid it because the cue ball has to play right near the corner pocket in that case. Just looking at playing the cue ball on a similar path, but not all the way down to the 5. It's a good shot if he's covered the right long rail. Looks like he might not have. He's got a lot of it, Gavin.
Yeah, he may be able to just flick over off the side and bring the cue ball back across. The 4 may come into play, depending on how hard he chooses to hit this off the rail. Was going that direction, but has he covered the potting angle for the 2? I think he has, the way Suto just walked back to his chair.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Thank you, production team.
Yeah, half pocket at best. Too much distance between the cue ball and the object ball to really play at that.
Nicely done. Long rail, trying to get it behind the 8, wasn't far away.
Suto's going to have to play the cue ball behind the 7 here. It's going to take a lot of right spin. The way the 2's playing, it could end up over the top left sometimes. Oh, look at that creative shot. And he's on the 3. Good spot there from Jonas. Knowing that the 2 ball was going to be high percentage off the back of the 8. Doesn't want to be on the 4 here, and he's okay.
Gets a little clap as well.
Yeah, he's starting to loosen up here.
Yeah, that will do nicely. And as you said, he is really looking to have his mojo about him. Maybe stop the cue ball here, just to leave a little angle. Can come just underneath the 9 here. And this will increase the deficit back to 2. And Felix just cannot get back to all square in this match. Score now 4-2 to the Spaniard. And, well, Eric, Felix is making the shots, and that you felt was a pretty good safe. But Suto had other ideas and was able to convert that great shot on the 2. And, well, Felix must be wondering what he needs to do to start just edging it back in his favour.
Yeah, dangerous part of the match. Felix is going to have to try to hang with him here.
Yeah, I agree, Eric. We certainly know he has the quality, and as he's proven in previous European events, he's got the temperament. He's certainly been in these positions before. And as we comment on Jonas's rhythm around the table, this young gentleman Certainly not as quick, but has a great flow when he gets into the balls. So, breaking, trailing 2 racks to 4. Felix Vogel, where's the cue ball? That must have taken a horrible bump, Eric. The 5 ball was the culprit. Ball in hand, Suto. And not a bad spread of the balls, Eric. Where the 7 is, shape for the 8 won't be a problem, even though the 9 is lurking a little. Does really was looking like a decent layout. May have just come up a little short on the 5, but check across for the 6. Making easy work of this. Won't need to do too much with this 7. Be looking to play the 8, likely the 9, all in the same pocket here. Back across centre table. This 9 to take a very useful 5-2 lead in this race to 9. Certainly looking in his flow. And, well, Felix will need to get his break working and back it up a bit more. Out on the other tables in this final, Juan Carlos Exposito in his 8 ball is 5-1 up over Tobias Bongers. It's a race to 8. And Echeverria is trailing 1 rack to 3 against Stefan Kasper. So Germany up in 1, Spain up in 2. And with quite a distance for Bongers to go, it could come down to this match, ladies and gentlemen. So Suto to break, leading 5 racks to 2. Race to 9. Illegal break was the call. 1, 2, and not the 8. So Felix can make the choice. Has gone for the push up against the 6, and that's not close enough to the 6, I'm afraid. Need to be closer than that to really hamper. Looks like he's going 2 rails. Catches the edge. That's not going to work. Needed to catch it thicker. And this is an opportunity now for Felix.
Yeah, Felix needed this. 6 and the 7 playing in line for where he needs to be on the 2. 5 and the 6, pardon me, and the 7, so just held off, took more distance. Gonna have to avoid them coming back again, but has a solid line in between the 5-6 here.
Yeah, found the gap very nicely indeed.
A little tight again. That 5 ball causing a lot of problems in this run out, so going to have to draw around the 8 here. Crossing the angle a bit. Wants to end up fairly straight on the 4. Just held up, Gethin. He's good here.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Coming over for the 6.
Yeah, one in some angle moving towards the 7, and he's got it. Gonna have to power draw across and over now. So he's considering follow. I feel like there's a lot of angle going to the left off of it.
Yeah, went for the deep draw, Eric. Seems to be finishing straight a little bit.
That's that nice in-between stroke length. Not too short, not too long. Exactly what's suggested.
Very effective, and very much needed point on the board for Felix Vogel here. 5-3 is the score. Just having a look over at our table 2. Stefan Kasper at the table. Looks like Echeverria is pulling it back a little bit. 3-2 to Stefan on that table. And over on our table 3 in the 8-ball matchup, Juan Carlos Exposito, who is our reigning 8-ball champion, currently riding high 6-1 against Tobias Bongers. If you do want to keep an eye on that, the scores play by play. A little bit of joking between Casper there and the Spaniard. Please do visit EPBF.com, and if you're enjoying these matches on Pro Billiard TV now or watching back in the future, please do like, share, subscribe, and we do enjoy your comments. Felix Vogel to break.
Neither wired, ball down. Surprised both players haven't found a little better break here. Felix had a couple good ones his last 2. Back into nothing pocketed.
Yeah, Jonas had a illegal break in the last, and this looks like it's an illegal break as well. So Jonas putting Felix back at the table with no look at the one. Jonas came out of his chair, Eric, like he knew exactly where Vogel was going to put it and was fully prepared for this shot.
Yeah, I don't mind the push. He's going to have to lag the speed perfectly here. Trying to line the cue ball up with the 9. It's not perfect. He's left offense for Vogel. He's going to have to avoid the 9 coming back twice. If he hits it off the second rail, should still be okay.
Well, Mark White and myself were commentating on Jonas earlier today, and he spent a lot of his time not just looking at the other table, but looking at his watch. And there was a lot of speculation in the chat that he had a plane to catch and that he was rushing off to another event after this. And someone pulled our leg and said that he was, so we had to have a chat with him after the match, and he turned around, he goes, nope, nope, nope. I'll be here. I just really like my watch.
Yeah, some players heading over to the European Open, WNT event. Some players sticking around for the Euro Tour here at the same venue.
Yep, our production team will be frantically busy tomorrow, resetting the stage for the Euro Tour. A lot of friends of mine will be heading down, looking to go deep. And I have to say, Eric, I'm very much looking forward to it, especially if we get the quality that we've had over this 11-day event. It has been world class.
Yeah, Exposito having a great week here in the team finals. Looks like he's going to win his set in the final and won in the semifinal. Also won the Open 8-ball division. Linnea Hjalmerström with her first European title in the women's division.
That was very strong of her in the straight. She played great throughout that. Felix's teammate over on table 2 right now was the winner of the men's straight. And he also has had a great time here at the Miracle Resort in Antalya. It's been a great location for this event. And now he's run into the 5 quite nicely here, Eric.
Yeah, that could have turned out worse on that one.
At some point, Eric, he's got to bring that scoreline back to level. This will get him back within 1 if he can close this one out. And yes, I think you've been score spotting without me, Eric. Carlos Exposito certainly on the hill, 7-1 in his match against Bongers. And I can only assume that that applause was for the close of that match. I'll double check that first before I go broadcasting that one out.
Yeah, pretty quick win considering it was 8-ball. Must have had a lot of runs off the break.
Yeah, Bongers has had a great time here as well. He walked into this arena, the reigning straight champion, was bested in the semi-finals, and all German semi-finals. It was quite a spectacle. And of course, if we're tickling your fancy at home and you want to catch any of their matches, they are all on Pro Billiard TV. This has been a very nice clearance from Felix, Eric, and timely. Needs to keep doing this.
Yeah, looks like he's getting back into the swing of it here.
Brings the scoreline back to within 1. Just having a look over at the women's final. It looks like Lena Primus, representing Austria in the 8-ball, is leading 4-2 over Miriam Steiner. And Yasmin Ushan has extended her lead over the German Ina Kaplan, 6-2. She's on the hill. So Austria looking very strong. And, well, Germany came into that, I would have to say, just slight favourites going on their performances of past. So that one very exciting. Take a look out at the star-studded arena. Echeverria at the table and still very much in that match.
Nothing. 1 ball down. He jammed one in the corner that time, Gethin? Yeah, he did.
Did the 8 leave the potting angle? I don't think it has from the overhead. Can he hit it thick and freeze the cue ball?
Yeah, I think he wants to look for something a little more aggressive against a player like Vogel. The aggressive play would be go off the top side of it. Play the cue ball up table. Risk of a double kiss in that spot. If it does, be bad news for him. Gonna settle on a push, leaving the right edge only likely.
Come over for an inspection as well.
Yeah, Felix has a similar shot off the short rail, trying to hit the top side of it. Gives it back though.
Do like the shot you were suggesting from this angle. Less chance of the double kiss. Oh,
That was always there. Nice shot, no position. I think was really having a fair bit of two-way in mind on that one. Jump combo now. Might look for some type of safe off the right side. Shot. Goes in. Now he won't mind it. Well, never mind. We're playing 9-ball. I keep thinking we're playing 10-ball. I mean, we'd have to call it. He's going to stay at the table here.
I'm not too sure about the pot on the 4 here, but there is a carom onto the 9. I don't know. Well, let's have a look.
Tried it. The 4 is going to end up safe. So a couple rolls here for Suto in rack number 10.
Yeah, needed to catch the 4 thinner for the pot. May have made the 9. But got a roll.
Score ball's in the middle of the table. He's going to try to hit the bottom side of it. Create some movement back towards the 7. Tough to hold the angle exactly when the ball's this far away from the rail.
Well, his counterpart Stefan Kasper has taken that rack. Now leads 4-2 against Echeverria. So Germany still very, very much in this final. Oh!
Good. Distance here. He can come back 2 rails. If he makes this one, he should be good for the rest of the rack and looking to tie the score for the first time since the first game of the match.
Yeah, and I was talking about that not long ago. He is yet to get the scoreline back level, and you feel that little jolt of momentum would really push him in the right direction. And in the last few racks, he really has seemed settled, making some great shots and good position play.
Yeah, I was down 5-2 at one point. Two thin breaks from Jonas. Illegal on one of them. Corner ball getting jammed out on the other.
I assume he will just run the cue ball through here.
Yeah, nicely played, and looking at a tie score line now.
Great stuff. And with Exposito getting Spain's first match on the board, it is imperative now that both Germans win their matches. And this is a good step in the right direction for Felix Vogel here. A nice smile from Felix. I think he realizes how important bringing the scoreline back to all square is. And was Jonas making a fluke and returned the favor? A little giggle from the man. But that does keep this match very interesting over on the other table. Well, Stefan Kasper still in the lead there, but not by much. And over in the ladies' final, I did allude to Lena Primus on the hill. She still is, leads 5-2. But Yasmin Ushan now also on the hill. So do or die for the Germans, Miriam Steiner and Ina Kaplan. Can Germany do it in the men's? Well, this man has half of that responsibility right now.
Corner ball down, legal break. One ball's playing over the corner. But the 5's gotten in the way. Some unlucky rolls on the break in this match.
Yeah, it's not coming to them, or rather going all their way at the moment. So keeping it really exciting for me, and I'm sure for all of us. He does have the option to push here, Eric, but he may feel he can play off the 1.
Yeah, if he can hit it squarely, he could possibly bank it inside the 7. I don't really like anything off the left side of it. Looks like he is going to push down to the top left here. Jonas can try to cut this thin towards the 5. It'll be hard to get the 1 ball running right into the 5, but looking for cover with the 6 and the 7. 6 and the 3, pardon me. Looks like he's considering side rail to side rail. That'll work too. Gonna leave a jump for Vogel here. Sharpen the side. Goes to it immediately.
Yeah, thick contact. May be able to bring the cue ball back towards the 2. Leave the 1 at the other end. This is a tight one in the side pocket if he takes it on. Oh.
Oh, wow. Can't hit it much better than that. Speed kept it out there.
Oh, it looked like it even started to go in. Gravity just couldn't take effect because of the momentum. And Jonas going down the rail to hold for the 2. What is he going to think about on the 3? Does it pass the 6? Not sure it does, Eric.
Yeah, these angles are deceiving sometimes. It sure doesn't look like it from this angle. But I've done enough commentary by this point to know that that ball does have a chance to go.
Yeah, good point.
It might not, though. He looked like he was looking for the angle to come back into it. Not gonna work here.
Well, it's finished very close to the 3. That does make for opportunities to glance off of it and focus on cue ball. Doesn't want to leave it hanging around the 9 though.
Good shot. Full coverage from the 7 here. Vogel going to be going back to the jump cue. Looks like the 9 has us. Could possibly go past the 8.
Well, I did allude to not wanting to leave it near it. If that 9 does pass the 8, oh my. Having a second look, Eric. That 9 does pass. Great camera angle. Still, the jump needs to be made first and foremost. Contact on the 3.
He's got it. What a shot. Vogel coming back from 5-2 down, 6-5 ahead now in the final of the European Team Championships. They need this set. Stuck a set already with Exposito winning against Bongers. Pseudo out for a break immediately. I think we're going to go for a break as well. Come back for an exciting conclusion here. What a shot, Gethin.
Yeah, indeed, Eric. We will be right back with the players. Don't go anywhere. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this European Pool Men's Team Finals. What a match we have on. As we just looked over on the other table, Ika Andoni Echeverria has just taken a lead over Stefan Kasper, the score 5-4 over there. And back to our table, Felix Vogel has just snuck into the lead, 6-5. First time he's been in the lead in this match. Soonest to break. My name's Gethin Davis. Welcome back, Eric Horlifson.
Right on the 2 this time. And this is the offense that we expected from the get-go. Haven't really seen it off the break. Both players playing well. Chance to run out here. Ideally wants to get straight on the 3. Looks like it'll be a little tough to do that in the side, so he's considering the corner.
That's worked nicely. And, well, what a final we've got on our hands here. Exposito putting Spain 1 up very quickly, asking a big ask from the German players, both of them performing fantastically. Let's see how hard the Spanish can fight. We do know they've got it in them.
Yeah, quick run out from Jonas here.
Still not a result in the women's final. It looks like Ina Kaplan has come back from what I believe to be 6-2 down. Well, she's now just 1 behind. Yasmin's been on the hill all that time, 6-5.
He's overhit this. Needs a bump, and I think he's got it.
Big jump.
Back cut.
Oh.
Good there.
Suto jumping up in the air when that cue ball got close to the 8. That's worked out very well. This to bring it back to all square. And he does, Eric, and what a performance. That was a great rack for Suto. And now we're in a race to 2. I mentioned about the ladies' final. Well, both Yasmin and Lena on the hill, but the Germans are making that comeback and they're fighting hard. Still not a result there. And it looks like it's keeping nice and tight over here as well. Andoni still with that 5-4 lead. And very nicely poised here, Eric, at 6 apiece. Felix with the break.
Yeah, both players have had a good amount of breaks in this set so far, so should be kind of feeling into that perfect hit. Another good one. Ball's down immediately. 3 balls down, and he's right on the 5. I like being on the 5 as your first ball after the break.
Uncanny. That is a fantastic break. What a shot. And I wouldn't mind this layout myself, Eric.
To avoid the 7 coming across, but there's a decent amount of room. Got off the rail nicely, can just draw above the 9 now. Both players settling into an offensive gear here.
Yeah, nicely put, Eric. Both players looking like they're shifting it up a gear. That timeout woke up Suto. Seems to have woken up Felix as well. Not that they really needed a jolt. He regains the lead and is now keeping his neck in front. It's his turn. Scoreline 7-6. And 2 away. As we just see a wrap-up of his shots there, making it look rather comfortable. Jonas looking over at the other table frantically. Germany need to win 2. Spain only need to win 1. And we're really getting to the business end of this 9-ball match, Eric. Both players firing on all cylinders.
Chance to be legal here. I think it's gonna be. It is. And Vogel's gonna have the first look.
Ooh. Just
Really wanted that 6-ball to go down. Yeah.
Exactly. Now what can Felix muster up here? This would be a great time to get a mini break and, more importantly, get on the hill. Not really a full pocket for him there with the 2, and quite tight against the long rail with the cue ball.
Yeah, gonna have to elevate here.
Is he going for an early 9 off the 2?
I'm surprised he's not trying the 2. Wow. Huh. Never expected to scratch. The thing about that was the 2 I thought had 3/4 of a pocket. I understand it's not a full pocket, but I really expected him to play it directly there. Chance to level the score again.
Yeah, and he wanted to not take that 6-7 by the looks of it. Chose the combination. Gets that out the way. And that will be the 5-7 now. Wow. Doesn't need to really do too much here. If he can finish even straight on the 5, a little bit of angle would be also very nice. Just a quick one for our viewers. Germany are still on the comeback. Miriam Steiner is 1 away from Lena Primus. Ina Kaplan 1 away from Yasmin Ushan. And on our table, Jonas Suto with a great opportunity to bring it back to 7 apiece. Nothing to pick between them now.
Yeah, Felix is going to have 2 of the last 3 breaks, but that's about it. Really toe-to-toe here.
Ho, 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 ho. The Spanish are cheering. His teammate is currently locked in a battle with Stefan Kasper. They're at 5 apiece. Juan Carlos Exposito dominated his 8-ball match, putting one on the board for Spain, so they only need to win one more. I mentioned with the ladies, nothing to pick between them now. Well, you won't believe this. I have just been mesmerized by this scoreboard, Eric. Both of them matches are now hill-hill.
Wow. Best of the best coming out to play here in the finals.
What a grind from the Germans. They will not give up without the greatest of fights. Both finals here showing their grit and determination. This is awesome stuff. Felix to break, as you said, has 2 more. May have 2 more, rather. Potted 4 balls on his last one. If he can recreate that, wow.
It's going to be illegal again, Gethin. Illegal breaks creeping in here in the last couple.
Making balls, just not making enough past the head string with this 3-point rule. And I think, yeah, the 2 definitely goes.
Elevated draw coming up. High level of difficulty here. Has to keep the speed down a little bit, not to come back behind the 8. Nicely played. Has to avoid the 8 again, coming back across for the 4. Should be able to get there between the 8-9. Forward 3 rails, avoiding them. Oh, he's missed the ball though.
Suto. Well,
got a little quick on the stroke there.
I agree. It can be his style. Missing isn't, but on this occasion, perhaps a little bit of complacency, and that is not the time.
Bunch of shots here for Vogel. Even considered playing the 4 into the top right. I don't think he will in the end. He is. Speed's pretty good. Chance for Vogel to get on the hill here first now after being down 5-2 early in the early going. Undercut it. Mistakes starting to creep in on the break and during gameplay. Both players feeling the pressure of this final now.
It looked like pocket speed was going to help it, but not today. The 6 and 7 have somewhat hampered straight sight on the 4, but rail first. Where's the cue ball going to end up? It's going to take a chunk of the 5. A friendly chunk of the 5, Eric.
Yeah, he's perfect here. Could have been a lot worse. But looking good to hold his serve now. Pardon me, that was on Felix's break, so he will have the break to finish the match off.
And there's that flow we were talking about. Both players having a chance in this 15th rack. As you said, a couple of mistakes creeping in. Honus Suto is the first to get on the hill in this match. He now leads 8 racks to 7. Spain only need 1 to take the title here in this team's event. It currently was locked at 5-5, still is locked at 5-5 on the other table. So Felix is going to have to dig hard. And I'm unsure if the women have taken a break, because that score is still held at 6-6 and 5-5. Both matches in hill-hill position. Wow, what an ending. And that did look like the Spaniard on table 2 took that rack. So he's now regained the lead at 6-5 by the looks of it. So nothing to pick between them. You have to think Suto the slight advantage, but Eric, errors have been creeping in on the break.
Yeah, just trying to get a legal one here, really. 6 has got a cross, the cue ball's in. So Vogel for a chance to make it hill-hill.
More drama, Eric. This is great stuff. I'm sure the players not so much at times.
Just looking at the 5 pass of the 7. Having a long look at it. Must be very close. Felix looks like he's going to play around the 7 here.
Yeah, and the 5 looks like it passes the 7 as well. So if it passes the 9 as well, that makes it, gives him options.
Speed's got to be good on this one, crossing the angle. Going to be a little short. Looks like he's okay to hold on the left side. Still having a good look at that 5, so he's going to want the cue ball in a spot where he can really take a look at the pocket that he's trying to target. Part of the pocket. Played it nicely into the thick side there, holding the angle as best he could. And he's looking right down the barrel of the right side of the pocket here.
Takes a look at this just to interject. The final in the women's event, with an amazing comeback, takes Yasmin Ushan 7-6. Lena Primus from Austria takes her match. So they are going to a hill-hill shootout. what a final the women's event is having. And what a final we're being treated to here, Eric.
Yeah, it's been back and forth the whole way. Pseudo went out to a early lead. Helped a little bit from a miss by Vogel on the 8. Couple mistakes around rack number 14. But it's been pretty error-free the whole time. A lot of illegal breaks, randomly.
Yeah, just a little purple patch with the breaks. But both players getting off to good rewards. And now there's a little bit of added pressure with the scoreline and the situation, Eric. This 9-ball to have taken a 3-rack deficit and fought hard to bring this match to a well-deserved Hill decider. And it will be Felix Vogel with the break. Exciting stuff over here. Over on the other table, well, Echeverria is doing a good job for Spain, keeping the lead against Stefan Kasper. 6-5 is the score there. 2 away from the magic 8 on that 10-ball match. Well, what a showdown we are being treated to here, Eric. What a showdown.
Yeah, both women's matches going to the hill. This men's match going to the hill. The men's 10-ball match, very close. Right down to crunch time here. Looks like Casper's a little bit upset about something over on table number 2.
Yeah, Stefan Kasper had a fantastic 2025. Got off to the best possible start here, winning our first event, the straight. He is looking forward to a good 2026. I have to say both these players, Jonas and Felix, have it all to look forward to this year. Hill, race to 9. This final couldn't get any better.
Vogel just resetting on the break, knows how important this break is. It's going to be legal. Few balls down. Offensive bank on the 1, but that's about it. Don't know if the bank's playing too long here. It is slightly long. I think he's going to favor safe on this one. Can't really hit it thin enough to get the cue ball behind the 9. Cue ball will play okay behind the 2. 1 can play to the middle of the short rail. Slightly underdrawn, but the 4 is going to line up nicely. And Pseudo's in trouble here.
Looking to get as close to that center diamond as possible on this short rail. Good
contact. It's going to be this Very sharp one on the side. Too sharp to try. And the safes aren't easy here, Gethin. Good result there from Jonas.
Yeah, that cue ball kept its spin and checked up off their short rail. Felix will be looking to put him back in trouble again.
Could have a try at the crossbank here. I don't think the 7's in the way. Can bring the cue ball back near the 9. 4 could get involved as a blocker. Just laid off. And Suto's going to have a good power up to get on the 2. First look at the finish line for either player.
Yeah, I think he was hoping to get that cue ball much closer to the 6. Maybe even look behind it. Didn't work out. And yeah, big power up. Hill, hill. How do you fancy this one, Eric? Whoa.
Yeah, I like him in these type of shots. Center pocket. Still a bunch of pressure on the line. This is for the title. They've won the 8-ball set. So if they are able to win either of these 2 remaining sets, they'll win the gold.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned his name for a while, but Juan Carlos Exposito with a dominating 8-ball performance, putting Spain 1 point on the board very quickly. But the Germans have stayed in this. So this 4-9, Eric, could resolve it all rather quickly.
It's not there. But the cue ball's behind the 7. Big roll for Spain here. Not often you see a winning ball missed for the title. It was tough. It was off angle.
How much of a roll did he get, Eric? Is there an edge?
Well, yeah. He's going over to the pocketing angle. He does have the right edge. And the cue ball can run into the 6 here. He's going to hope it plays away from the rail. Not there either.
Ooh. Well, if the potting angle was on, Eric, you have to say that was a chance. That little clap was Echeverria getting on the hill in his temple match against Stefan Kasper. Both Spaniards in good position to close this team event up with a win and the trophy.
What a match, Gethin. It looks like Spain's going to take it down here. Deep breath for Suto.
Congratulations to Spain, our Predator European men's team champions.
Team Spain takes the title down. What a match we had here. Congratulations all around to Spain.
I'm speechless,
Go ahead,
Eric.
Gethin.
I'm absolutely speechless. It's been a fantastic journey for the Spanish. I was also just having a quick look to see if we had a result coming in from the ladies. That's going to have to wait. Please, viewers, visit EPBF.com to keep the eye on that. We will be following this with the awards ceremony, but what a performance by the Spanish there. Commiserations to the Germans, but a great performance all round. And that will end this 11 days nicely. What a fantastic 11 days they've been. World-class European pool here at this lovely Miracle Resort here in Antalya, Turkey. We just hear an announcement for Luke Riches. We've seen many winners crowned champion and all worthy of their successes. These players will be crowned shortly. I wanted to extend a big thank you to our production team sponsors and all of you at home, and of course our referees and players. We will be back in 2 days in this star-studded arena with a different look, but ready for our first Euro Tour of 26, and it's 8-ball, ladies and gentlemen. So please set your alarms and notifications. Eric Horlifson and myself, Gethin Davis, signing off and wrapping up these wonderful 11 days in Antalya, Turkey. Thank you very much, and see you back here bright and early on Thursday.
Good evening and welcome to the final awards ceremony here at the 2026 Predator European Pool Championships organised by the EPBF. Firstly, will you please welcome our presentation party for the Team Championships, the Sports Director of the EPBF, Gino Di Reiter, and the Vice Chairman of the Turkish Billiard Federation, Yagmur Aslan. Starting with the Women's Championship and our bronze medalists. From France, Debat, Marion Jude, Rachel Onfoy, and team leader Yannick Bolfils. And our second bronze medalist from Poland, Monika Zabek, Olivia Zalewska, and team leader Bogdan Volkowski. Moving on to our silver medalists. Will you welcome in Austria, Jasmine Ocean, Lina Primus, and Sandra Baumgartner. And finally, our gold medalists. and Predator European Women's Team Champions, Germany, Ina Kaplan, Jana Engelkopper, Miriam Steiner, Romina Lenk, and team leader, Gunther Geisel. Please stand for the national anthem of Germany. Moving on to the presentation of medals for the Predator European Men's Team Championship. Firstly, our bronze medalists. Will you welcome Switzerland, Dimitri Jungo, Michael Schneider, Ronnie Regley and Sylvan Starkeman. And now our second bronze medalists. Turkey, Ferdi Özdemir, Mahmut Semih Koylu, Onur Yildirim, Razit Saylan and Saki Kanatlar. Moving on to our silver medalists, will you welcome Germany, Dennis Lashkovsky, Felix Vogel, Stefan Kasper, Tobias Bonders, Yumadonna, and your team leader, Gunter Geisert. But our gold medalists and Predator European Men's Team Champion, Spain, Alvaro Canoniga, Diego Pedro Simon, Ikandoni Echevarria, Jonas Sutu and Juan Carlos Exposito with team leader Maite Ropero. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the national anthem of Spain? And now on to the 9-ball ceremony and introducing our presentation party. The President of the European Pocket Billiards Federation, Mr. Greenlinders. And the Vice Chairman of the Turkish Billiard Federation, Mr. Yakmur Arslan. Starting with the under-23 medals. Will you welcome our bronze medalists, firstly from Slovakia, Christian Mrva. And from Finland, Juho Taittinen. Will you welcome our silver medalist representing Germany, Denis Lashkovsky. But our gold medalist and Predator European under-23 9-ball champion from Spain, Alvaro Lama Pereira. Will you please stand for the national anthem of Spain? Moving on to the women's event. Our two bronze medalists, firstly representing Austria, Sandra Baumgartner. And our second bronze medalist, also representing Austria, Jasmine Ocean. And our silver medalist, representing Germany, Johanna Indrukova. but our gold medalist and Predator European Women's 9-ball champion from Germany, Ina Kaplan. Will you please stand for the national anthem of Germany? And our final awards, the men's 9-ball. Will you welcome firstly our bronze medalists, representing Germany, Tobias Bongas. And from Switzerland, Ronald Regli. And will you welcome our silver medalist from Spain, Jonas Soto. But your gold medalist and Predator European 9-ball champion, representing Poland, will you welcome Daniel Maciol. Will you please stand for the national anthem of Poland? And that concludes the 9-ball medal presentation. The event's closing ceremony will be taking place approximately 10 p.m. in the bar area of